For the past 10 years, the world's most famous arena has been transformed to host the most dangerous 8 seconds in sports. Tonight, the top 35 professional bull riders in the world are here battling it out in the first PBR Major of 2016, the Monster Energy Buckoff at the Garden.
All we need is a July, hot Saturday night. A couple cans on cool and the needle on full in a countryside. Yeah, hot little playlist of your favorite songs. And when I get you climbing up in the cab of this truck, yeah, you know it's on, know it's on. Show you a side of these 2 lanes you've never seen. Heating it up behind a highway. Ooh, baby, you and me. And just running down crazy. Flying high, living careless. On the edge of wild and reckless. Hold on tight. I'm about to show you one hell of a night.
All right, we have Shorty Gorhman here. He is a bullfighter on the PBR Tour. Now, when it's considered the most dangerous 8 seconds in sports, your job is to make it a little bit less dangerous. So can you explain what a bullfighter does?
Well, actually, you know, our main job is the safety of the cowboys. After they get bucked off or make a successful 8-second ride, our job is to get the bull's attention and to get the bull to chase us. So essentially, we're the bull bait, and we got to look like an easier target than the cowboy, lead the bull away from the rider till he can get to a safe spot.
So what tricks do you employ to get the bull's attention and pull him away from the rider?
Well, every bull's a little bit different, so you kind of got to be able to read their body language as things are happening. Some of them will move away from you. You know, it's natural herding instinct of cattle, or not herding instinct, but natural instinct to move away from you. Other ones are mean and they try to chase you. So you have to kind of decipher what that bull's thinking at that moment. They react to movement. Contrary to popular belief, bulls are colorblind. So I got to wear a red shirt, but that doesn't have anything to do with anything. So you just try to get in their vision and get them to focus on you. A lot of times we can put our hand on their head. When you do that, the bull's going to lift its head up, which actually gets them to focus on you a little bit more. And then you move in the direction you want them to go, and hopefully they take it.
So how do you train to become a bullfighter? Is there a bullfighting school?
There's some bullfighting schools, but the bullfighting schools are great because they can kind of hone your skills, but there's no other way to do it than just to get out there and do it, because the fear, you know, at the beginning wants to take over your body, and until you get over that part of it, you're really not going to learn anything. So you got to get out there and just do it, and there's a lot of bumps and bruises, broken bones that come with it, but that's part of the deal.
So what drew you to bullfighting as opposed to bull riding?
You know, for me, I think it was just the fact that you're controlling a situation that was somewhat uncontrollable. I love animals, love working with animals. I also like helping people. So knowing the fact that me doing my job was allowing people to go home that might not go home otherwise, it was really attractive to me. I think, you know, if I wasn't a bullfighter, I would probably, you know, be in the military or be a cop, or, you know, be somewhere where you could do good and still get to do exciting things. I'll be out there tonight for all 35 bulls, and that's another bonus of our job. The bull riders only get one shot a night. We get all 35. Is
there a bullfighter for the bullfighter? Like, if one's chasing you, does someone come in and save you?
Here in the PBR, we work with a 3-man team, and we really try to pound home team, because when you're out there alone, things are pretty tough. But with the way we work our system, it seems like about the time the bull's gonna get you, one of your buddies shows up and takes him away. We'll always work kind of in one direction, so that if the bull's chasing me and I'm moving in a circular direction to the left, one of my buddies is gonna be there. I'll meet him, and then he can take the bull, and we just keep kind of handing the bull off until the bull gets tired of chasing us.
It's considered the toughest sport on dirt, and I think it's safe to say that anyone who attempts it is one of the bravest or craziest athletes in the world. Let's head out to the arena floor and catch up with one of the riders.
Ryan
Madison Square Garden has to be one of the stops on the tour where you get the most questions about the basics of bull riding. And there's a lot more to it than just holding on. So can you give us a rundown on how PBR events are scored?
You bet, yeah. It is one of our biggest stops of the season here in New York City, here at Madison Square Garden. The fans are awesome, yeah. They know when the PBR's in town, when they see cowboy hats walking. So, I mean, they always pack the garden. And the scoring, they score the bulls 1-50 and the rider 1-50. And the highest point possible is 100. Never done in PBR history. But if you're 90 points here tonight, it's like hitting a grand slam in a baseball game. So it's really good.
So with the bull accounting for half of your score, do you get to choose which bull you ride?
No, on that part, it's random pick, this round is. In the championship round, that's the top 15 guys out of the previous 3 rounds get to go in the short round, we call it, and that is pick. Depending on how we do, like I say, if I come back first, I'll get number 1 pick coming back in the short round, but the 15th guy gets what's left.
So now the Built Ford Tough Series culminates in Las Vegas at the World Finals. So how do you qualify? How many riders compete in the final event, and what is the ultimate prize?
Well, this event here is pretty valuable. I mean, they give 600 points bonus, and we go to 28 events in a season. And at these Built Ford Toughs, this is where these are the televised events, and we get the most points here. And there's minor league events going on throughout the season. So we're not going to these huge events like this. We go to the minor leagues also. And how we get to the PBR finals is keep riding our bulls, staying on, and winning points. That's how we get to the PBR finals in Las Vegas. And when you win the world, the guy that wins the world at the end of the season, he wins $1 million bonus.
So when you're on the road for 10 straight months with an event almost every weekend, how do you find time to train, and what do you do to practice?
Going to these big events, it's just a weekend type deal. Very seldom we have events during the week, like the minor league events. We may have some during the week, but like from here, I'll go to Oklahoma City. We'll all go to Oklahoma City, and we'll have a few days at home to relax and work out and train. We hit the gym. If we need to get on practice bulls at home, we'll get on some practice bulls, get our confidence back up. But just hitting the gym and being ready mentally and physically when you crawl on the back of these animals, because they don't play around. They're 2,000-pound animals, and we got to be on our game when we nod our head.
So now I did my research, and I found out that a lot of bull riders start out as kids doing something called mutton busting. So can you explain to our viewers what that is, and how do you go from that to riding a 2,000-pound bull?
Yeah, well, we started at a young age. I started when I was 9, and there is mutton busting, like you said. You start earlier than that. And that's just basically a sheep, and you put a rope on and hang on. They ride for 6 seconds. It's just learning stages. As you grow older, the livestock will keep getting bigger and bigger. And then when you're 18, you can buy your card to go to PBRs. And once you won some money and points at the minor league level, and then you'll get a call up to the majors. And then you have to keep riding good and prove yourself to stay on tour. If not, there'll be somebody else to take your spot.
So the first time that you ride a full-size bull, is that just terrifying?
Like I said, there's different levels and stuff. Like, you go from mutton busting calves, steers, pee-wee bulls, junior bulls, senior bulls, and then you got your open bulls. When I moved up from steers to pee-wee bulls, I thought that was my biggest step, because they are bulls, they're not steers, and I had to change my riding up a little bit. But it's tougher when you move up to bulls, because you got to change your riding up a little bit and learn to take the power out of the animals, because you can't muscle them. Obviously, they're huge animals. You gotta learn it and just figure out the basics, and then you just grow up from there.
So let's talk a little bit about bull riding fashion. Is there a functional element to all of the fringe?
No, that's just basically style. It looks good. We got all of the logos on it and stuff, and that sponsors and stuff like that. But that just flies out, and maybe you get some bonus points when you spur one, and that's just extra points. And you got shaps flying everywhere. It just looks cool.
Do you have a signature move that we should look out for tonight?
Sometimes, in the short round after I get off one, make a good ride, I'll shoot a bow and arrow. My nickname's the Cherokee Kid, so.
Well, we're excited to watch you tonight, and good luck.
Thanks for having me.
Every PBR event includes 2 athletes, the bull rider and the bull. And not just any bull can qualify to compete. All of the bulls are handpicked by the PBR from the country's top stock contractors, like Jeff Robinson, who's here to talk about raising and training these prized PBR bulls. So now in professional bull riding, it's not only the bull riders that are being scored. So how are the bulls ranked and scored by the judges?
They're scored just like the cowboys. They're on a scale of 1 to 25. The cowboy gets a mark 1 to 25. The bull gets a mark 1 to 25, and they times it by 2 judges. And actually here they're timed by 4 judges. You get your score. 90's the barrier, and anything from 80 to 90 is pretty good.
Now, how does the PBR select bulls for their events? Is pedigree a factor similar to horse racing?
Pedigree is not so much a factor. All these bulls here are selected by our livestock director, Cody Lambert. He's been doing it for 20 years. He sets the bullpens, the short rounds. He selects every bull that comes to each event, all the finals bulls. So every bull here is his decision. But these bulls have earned their way here. They've come from a born to buck program, so-called now. So we're much like the horse industry. They're out of bucking bulls. Their mamas were out of bucking bulls. Their grandfathers were bucking bulls. So, they're bred to buck now, and it makes his job a little easier. But their performance is what makes them be here.
And is it a certain breed of bull that is a bucking bull?
It's a mixture now, but we have what we call the American Bucking Bull. Incorporated, they are the registry association for the PBR and nationwide, and they do all the registry, much like the AQHA does for the quarter horse industry.
Now, how do you get them bucking when they come out of the chute?
They just do it on their own. They're natural athletes. They're as good as any athlete in the world.
Yeah, you know it's on. Show you a side of these 2 lanes you've never seen. Heating it up behind a high beam. Ooh, baby, you and me. Just running down crazy. Flying high, living careless. On the edge of wild and reckless. Hold on tight. I'm about to show you one hell of a night. So give me that all, yeah, and take me there, look.